Hey, gang, welcome to another exciting episode of the Grand Circle Tour podcast. And today we have a treat for you. I got my two favorite co-hosts. I'm calling him a co-host now. He's no longer a guest. He's one of us. First of all, a regular on the show, we got Dan Hansen. Dan, how are you, my buddy?
Hey, Stan, what's going on?
I just came back from seeing a movie today, and we're going to talk about it. I saw Frozen 2. I hope you saw it.
Oh, I saw it, and I have questions, so I'm glad we're recording this.
Okay, you got questions. So hopefully, our other co-host joining us, John. Oh my gosh, here's his last name again.
Sakari, it's okay.
Sakari, come on.
John,
He's one of us. You don't even know how
pronounce-
to say his name.
You know what? I don't know how to say Jason's name. Never mind his first name. Never mind his last name. John from BigFatPanda.com. John, how are you, my friend?
I am good, and I also come into this with lots of questions. I may have some answers. I'm not certain.
Okay. Well, we're looking at you for the answers. Actually, we should be looking at Dan for the answers because Dan, you got the Norwegian heritage, right?
You know what? This is my type of movie. A nice Norwegian fable. It should be right up there as one of my favorites. And I'm not saying I don't like this movie. We'll talk about it. But
So I found out when you call Dan, you hear hi ya ya na ya, and it's not a recording. It's his family. That's how much heritage.
That's a true story, actually.
His mom used to sing that to him as a bedtime lullaby.
That's my bedtime.
when he was younger. when he was Danny Boy. So we're going to start off with spoiler free. We'll take a quick short break, and then we'll come back with the spoilers. So if you haven't seen Frozen 2 yet, and judging by the box office, chances are you have. If you haven't, by the time this gets released, you probably will Thanksgiving weekend, is my prediction.
It did break records, right?
Yeah, it did break records. It was the biggest 3-day weekend for an animated film ever, with 358 million in 3 days.
Wow. I think they already made back their money. Even though they spent a good penny, I think they already got it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go back 6 years when the original Frozen came out, November 27th.
Wow, has it been 6 years already? Wow.
It's been 6 years, yeah. And that one made 110 million in 3 days, in the first 3 days.
I am surprised that they came up with this convoluted story in just 6 years. That's great. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's not like as if they rushed it.
Time to think this through.
Now, this isn't a spoiler, but in the timeline, how much time passed from the original movie to we get to the meat of this movie?
3 years.
I know the answer, but what do you guys think it is?
It's 3 years, right? Didn't they say that?
I didn't know that. How do you know that?
Yeah, how did you know that?
I thought I heard it in the movie. I don't think I read anything on it. No, I didn't hear that in the movie.
It is 3 years. It is 3 years later. Okay.
Somebody must have mentioned it, probably.
I think they mentioned it. Someone mentions it in the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
It's been 3 years
but
since your
I had heard it
coronation
going in that it was 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we think this is going to outperform the original Frozen total box office?
Yes, I do.
Now, before we say yes, let me remind you, the original Frozen did 1.2 billion in the end.
I still think this is going to outdo it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Dan?
what are we a fourth of the way there already after the first couple days? So,
358 million.
Yeah.
You got to get 1.2 billion to beat it.
Well, I think they're going to, I don't think there's any question that they're going to do it. I mean, from what I remember, and it was 6 years ago, so my memory is not that great anymore, but from what I remember is that Frozen, the original Frozen, wasn't like a must-see, at least for me. I don't even know if I saw it in the movie theater, to be honest with you guys.
I remember it was questionable if I was going to go to see it, yes.
Right. Yeah, it was probably the same.
See, the way I remember the original Frozen is kind of like the way Star Wars or Titanic was, where it started off soft, and that explains the 110 million opening 3 days. And as time went on, people were like, you got to see this. And the soundtrack started coming out, and people were wanting to go see Let It Go. And I think it grew as time goes on. Now, what Frozen 2 has an advantage of is there's nothing else for kids to see right now.
Yeah.
Like we're
that's
going
true.
into Thanksgiving weekend, and there's nothing coming out next weekend for kids
Yeah.
to see.
Yep.
So this is the only family movie in the theater right now. So that's going to be a huge asset to help it in the box office.
Plus you have all these little girls that have grown up watching Frozen over and over and over again, and it's not even a question that they're going to go see this movie.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
I think that, what's funny too is we haven't gotten into our opinions yet, but despite my, apprehensions and hesitations, and I still believe it's a good movie, and I still think it's going to do well, even though I have issues with it. But I think the music is really good. I hesitate to say that, but I did find myself liking it. I think it was more Broadway, and I think there's a lot of repeat value that's going to come out of it. I know I have to see it again. I want to see it again because I want to make things clearer.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you: are you going to buy the Blu-ray? Are you going to go see it in the theater? Or are you going to wait for Disney Plus?
I'll go back to the theater before it's on Disney Plus.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Dan,
definitely.
how about you?
Once.
I'm probably not going to go back to the theaters. I'll wait at this point. I'll hear what. You know what? I'll leave that after this podcast. I'll make that decision. Maybe you guys are going to say something where I'm like,
We'll
I gotta go see
convince
that
you
again.
convince you to go see it tonight.
Yeah.
Right. I'll probably wait for Disney Plus before I see it again. I'm thinking. I don't think I'm going to be buying the Blu-ray, which is unusual. And that's the whole Disney Plus puts a new spin on Blu-rays for myself. I'm like, do I need to keep buying these things? I never watch them.
Stan, buying Blu-rays is like so outdated.
I know.
It's like you're 1,000 years old now.
I don't think I bought a Blu-ray since the first Frozen came out.
It's all digital now.
Yeah, I still have
kidding.
been buying them. Like I got
I'm
Dumbo
kidding,
on
I know.
Blu-ray. I got Lion King. I got
I
I've
don't know.
been still
I
collecting.
think they're
them,
going to
but
stop making them soon, but I'm only guessing.
Yeah, I think you could very well be right. What pluses can we say about the movie without going into spoilers? For myself, I thought the animation was phenomenal.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that the costumes that they had on or animated were by far the best I've seen in any movie. Like the little jewels in Ilsa's dress,
Yeah, I agree.
type of thing. What about you guys? What did you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think that's what's so cool about animation now. It just keeps getting better and better. I have a feeling that we're going to be saying that in a lot of these reviews that we do with as the movies progress, how much better the animation is getting,
Yeah.
It really did blow me away at points.
Yeah.
Totally blown away by the animation. But what's funny is I remember also being blown away by the Jurassic Park dinosaurs in part 1. And now when I watch, I'm like, So I don't know if I'm ever going to feel that way about what I think is so gorgeous right now with Frozen 2, but who knows?
Yeah. No, I completely agree that with the dinosaurs. And okay, so John, you said you like the music.
I did. I liked like 3 of the songs stuck with me, and I want to listen to them again and again.
Yeah. So I'll say something about the music. So first of all, let me go back to Frozen 1. I distinctly remember listening to watching Frozen 1 and listening to the Do You Want to Build a Snowman song and thinking this is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life while I was watching it. Seriously, I remember that. And now it's like something that I probably say once a month, right? Like
even
part
in
of my
July.
life. As a Disney fan, it's part of my life. So I do want to say that before I even say anything about the music is that we do have to let it grow on us a little bit and see if it sticks. I do think the one song is probably going to stick. It won't be a Let It Go. I don't think we're ever going to get a Let It Go again. But I did stay. I don't know if you guys stayed to the end credit scene. But one of the things I liked about the end credit scene is it forced me to listen to a couple of the songs again, right? Because they played the songs over. And the second time I listened to them, they were a little bit more, I was like, okay, I can see how this is going to has some staying power.
Yeah. John, did you stay for the end credits?
I did. Something interesting just about the music. When I saw Frozen 1, I listened to the music first, and I didn't like any of it.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the movie, I was like, then it connected to me. But sometimes I can connect to the music first. I was not able to. With this one, I didn't listen to it till the movie. But I did stay for the end credits. And once we get out of to the spoiler part, I thought the end scene was really funny.
It was
worth staying for, I thought.
Yeah, I didn't stay. I for whatever reason, I usually do.
You couldn't get out of there quick enough, Stan.
Pretty much.
I will say we're probably not the target audience.
That's exactly what
I
I was going to say. Is
Three grown men,
I'm-
doing a Frozen review here.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not the target audience. I don't think either one of you guys are.
Dan, I think we have to laugh more at everything he says. So
Well, no, you were both Frozen. I thought maybe it was me.
Well, it was because of the theme.
wow,
We're trying to be Frozen.
I
You
did.
get it?
Yeah, Elsa's acting up because I wasn't thrilled for this movie, so she froze you guys for me. Showing me
We
frozen.
almost died like Elsa does in every movie.
So, anyways, was there any other non-spoiler stuff before we get to the good stuff, you guys, you wanted to touch on?
I would just say you should try to see it, whether you think you might like it or not. I am going to give it my seal of approval, even though I wasn't totally sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Dan?
I agree. I mean, before I don't want to sound like we're just sitting here bashing the movie, because I did like the movie. It was cute. It was funny at times. It's just that there was some things that I just didn't understand. That's all. But I think for the most part, I did like the movie.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought I really liked parts of it an awful lot. There was, like you guys have both said, there's some scenes in there that where it's like they didn't need to have this, but at the same time, it wasn't an overly long movie to go with. Like, it wasn't like overly long. You know what I mean? So if they did cut parts out, it wouldn't have really mattered too much to me, because like it wasn't. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, if they made the movie short, the movie didn't need to be shorter, but there were scenes that they didn't need. And we'll get into those scenes into the spoiler section, because there's a couple scenes I wanted to talk about that I don't think that they needed, but at the same time, the movie didn't need to be shorter, because it was a fairly short movie to begin with, under an hour and 43 minutes, I think it was, somewhere around there.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, and I'm curious to see what scenes you think and see if it's the same scenes that I have in mind, because I was thinking the same thing. Now again, I don't want to make him shorten the movie shorter, but I don't know. I wonder how much they actually cut out of this movie to begin with, or they just kept everything they filmed in. So that's sometimes how it felt.
Yeah.
I did hear something was cut, but I think we need to be in the spoiler zone for me to tell you.
Yeah. So let's go right into the spoiler zone, and we'll talk about the things we want to talk about, as opposed to dancing around the ice cube before it melts, for lack of a better term.
Elsa, the past is not what it seems. You must find the truth. Go to the enchanted lands and into the unknown.
Promise me we do this together, okay? I promise.
And we're back. That was entertaining, that's for sure. So let's get right into the spoiler part of it. The movie starts off with kind of the same music that the original movie started off with, that same chant.
Yeah.
You guys catch? Yeah. And what was interesting about that was it's not sung by the people from Arendelle. The chanting at the beginning is sung by Dan, you pronounce it, the North Vladar? Or how do you...
North Uldra, right? Is that how it is?
North Uldra, yeah.
I said that
forest
with my
people.
best Norwegian accent, by the way.
Yeah, so the chant is sung by the forest people, but it's the exact same chant as it was in the first movie that was sung by the people collecting the ice at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking these people are related right off the word go.
Yeah, I didn't even connect that till just now, so thank you. You're helping me add to my puzzle pieces.
So
together.
the people that were collecting the ice are Kristoff's people, right?
Correct, yeah.
Now,
And then
I don't
the
know,
people
I don't
that
know
are
if
in-
we know that Kristoff is definitely, how would you say it, Arendellian? Is that how you say people from Arendelle?
I'd buy that.
All right, so let's go with Arendellian. I don't know if we ever knew that Kristoff was from Arendelle.
Well, I'm assuming that's who they're selling the ice to, is the
Right,
people of Arendelle.
right,
So they must live somewhere nearby.
right. See, I'm
You know.
thinking more so that Kristoff is one of the North Uldra type heritage, because he got along with and I forget who.
Ryder or something like that.
Ryder? Yeah, I think it was Ryder, which is pretty
Yeah.
weird because it sounds similar to Flynn Rider, right? I don't know. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
But I wonder if there's a connection there, and maybe that's a future plot, because I did think that Christoph could have had a little bit more to do with this movie. I was hoping more of a plot line, and there was a point in the movie, you know, where he has that song where it's like, oh, he's gonna get a nice story arc, and then I feel like I maybe slept through his story arc. It just never happened.
I did feel that they developed him good with he felt like, you know, he wanted to propose to Anna, but he felt like he was growing apart from her. I thought they played that up pretty good.
Yeah, I just thought there was gonna be more. I don't know. It definitely seemed to me that he belonged there when he met Ryder, and they all, you know, he's like, oh, you have your reindeer speak with you too, and you know, that whole thing.
Okay,
You speak for your reindeer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you speak with your reindeer. I was like, oh, this is gonna go somewhere. And then they just leave him. This was like one of my biggest points in the movie, is that, you know, they go on this quest, and Christoph's like, yeah, I'm gonna go with you, and they're like, okay, Christoph, come with us. And then
Well, the
he
only
goes
reason
off-
why they took him was because he needed a ride.
yeah,
He's the
They
only
used
guy with
him.
wheels
They
in the
used him.
entire.
And then
city.
he's like, well, where'd they go? And they're like, oh, they left you. They couldn't find you. They're just gone.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
what?
The Giants walked past, and they were in a hurry because they didn't want the Giants to come back.
I don't
So they
know.
know.
That part was a little like, and
Yeah,
then all of a sudden he just shows up at the end. You know, I don't know. That was a little
Yeah,
strange.
that is exactly the points that I was talking about. The whole proposal thing didn't really need to be in there. There were the missed proposals. The Christoph song was, what is this, like a flashback to the 80s music videos?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't the song, if you listen again, you know what it sounds like? I am the man who will fight for your honor, and I'm lost in the woods.
Great. Now that's all I'm gonna hear when I
Yeah,
hear
no,
it.
listen to it later and you'll go, oh my God, it's a Karate Kid song.
Did you guys hear that Weezer does the band Weezer is the ones who sing it at the end in the credits?
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know?
See, I'm not a fan of Weezer either, so that explains why I didn't care too much for that song.
Just the
sing
credit
like a
version.
pine cone
Let
at
me
one
tell you
point.
what my confusion was.
Okay.
I looked for patterns, and I saw that the lizard, which people are calling Bruni, which I don't even know why, because nothing in the movie says Bruni that I can remember. But
Rudy?
BRU,
I didn't even know that's what people are calling him. He has a name. I didn't even know that.
So-
apparently at D23 they mentioned it, but I don't know if it's like fans calling the beast Adam when that's really not canon.
Sure.
So I don't know, because on a game that I play, there's the lizard there and they call him the fire spirit, not Bruni. But apparently Disney refers to him as Bruni. I don't know, another conversation. But so if the fire is the lizard and the water is the horse, the wind is just the wind. We have no
The
character
leaf?
or animal for the wind. So
Would it
now
be
I'm
the
already
leaf?
confused. And the earth is a bunch of things, is a bunch of giants. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Bunch of rock giants.
Yeah, there's too many things going. Like, why aren't everybody getting a little cute character?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
Yep.
just weird.
See, when I saw that lizard, I thought, oh, it's a flaming lizard.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what's flaming lizard from? And then I spent like a half hour of the movie trying to remember, is that a drink or is that like a party in the desert that happens every year called the Flaming Lizard? Like, what is that from? So that kind of distracted me a bit.
You
Yeah.
know who I thought it was at first? I thought it was
Geico?
No, Pascal. Is
Yes.
that his name?
Yeah.
I was like, are they like cross cross
Somebody
referencing the
put-
movies?
I
Someone
will
put
say I
lighter
found
fluid on
myself
Pascal.
Yeah.
I found myself laughing out loud when he did his little jump. And
Yeah.
his arms go out like completely giving up and jumping. Wow.
Yeah. Well, at first I was like, okay, well, it's merch, right? How many water horses are they going to sell, and how many
Right.
rock guys? But then I said to myself, well, how are they going to sell Gale, the wind?
Right?
What are they going to do? Just like bottle up? You're right.
But
I
so
guess
here
the
was
Earth guy was the
my
rocks.
here was my other confusion. If she's Elsa's supposed to be the bridge, the fifth element that bridges these elements together, which again I'm very fuzzy as to why.
I'm very
Something
confused.
with her mom and all that. Okay. But why did the horse try to kill her as she was trying to get to that across the river? But then somebody did explain to me she had to rein in and tame every one of those spirits at some point. And I thought back and I went, oh, yeah, she had to tame the lizard, the fire. She had to tame wind at some point. She did tame the horse in the water. I don't remember the giants, but it could be because I just forgot if she tames them or not. But she did have to prove herself to each of them. So that made something a little clearer to me.
Okay, it makes a little sense, but what
So maybe
doesn't
that was
make
a
sense-
scene that was cut out, perhaps.
I don't know. You saw it more recent than all of us, Dan. Do you remember anything going on with her taming the giants?
No, Anna kinda by having them throw rocks at her. is
Be it.
that taming the giants?
So let's get to the main question. So what?
Okay,
Like,
well,
I still
first-
don't understand why she connects them though. Like,
Why
is
does
it
she
her?
have powers and not her sister if they have the same parents?
Right.
See, I think the problem here is with you two is like Olaf said, when you get older, you'll have the answers. You'll have all the answers when you get older. I'm older than you two, so I have the
This
answer.
will all make sense when I get older. I
You
did
just have
like that song, by the way. I did.
That was a cute song.
Yeah, you know all the answers when you're older, so you guys will learn eventually what it is.
That is such baloney, is it not? I
Well,
have more questions.
that's what made it funny for the adults in the
Right, right.
audience.
I know.
So okay, so let's seriously talk about this and try to figure it out. And listeners, if you have some answers that I don't, please let us know because I just have a lot of questions here. But so why is she the fifth element? Like what is it? What's the reason? Is it because the Northuldra people are a little spiritual and have magical powers? And if that's the case, my follow-up question is, well, what does the Arendellian people have that makes her that? Like, why Arendellian people and not other
Somebody
countries?
said it was because her mom saved something or saved the dad, maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
Was her dad another race? Like,
Her dad
No.
was from Arendelle.
He was from Arendelle.
and was the
and
mother
the mother-
Northuldra?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she was Northuldra. So I
Okay.
get that part, but why those two races? I mean, listen, there should
Right,
be
there's
other
others
races.
too.
And you know, I also get the Northuldran being a little bit spiritual, but there's nothing spiritual about the people from Arendelle, right? I mean, they're just normal people before Elsa came along.
Yeah, and then the dam being built was a bad thing.
Okay,
And
so
they-
let me ask that question. Can someone explain to me why they built the dam? Why that was a symbol of peace?
I don't know.
I think that kind of represents the way the Native Americans were treated when the white folk first came to North America. And they're like, yeah, here's some beads. You guys could do lots with these beads and we'll take everything you own. And they were like, well, we don't care about the stuff that you're taking. We don't care about land. And that's kind of the same type of thing. Like they needed the shipping lanes open for the Arendelle. So that's why they built the dam. And they're telling him, oh yeah, no, we'll build this dam for peace. And it'll be great for you guys. But the reality was, it wasn't.
But
great
why
for
would
them.
it be great for them?
Well, because they told them it was. The same way the Europeans would tell the Native Americans that beads
Okay.
were great for them.
There was a part that I really didn't understand. And when I came home and I told my wife about the movie, she asked that question because I was trying to be a little detailed with her. And it was literally, I was like, I don't know. I don't know why I did that.
True story. I have a friend that I spoke to and I was asking all my questions to. And she was like one of those people that she couldn't say she didn't know. She would just throw out things that sounded factual to me until she started telling me that it all had to do with Fantasia. I was like, oh, you totally are cool now. And I realized as I'm asking her these questions, her name is Autumn. She's a season. And I got really nervous and just got off the computer at that point.
And she listens to the show. She's one of our number one listeners.
She probably is. She probably is.
The part that I knew we were in the Disney movie was when the grandfather got killed. The father's dad, Anna and Elsa's father's father gets killed. And okay, we're in a Disney movie now. We can't have a Disney movie without the parents getting killed right at the beginning.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So is he the villain of the movie? I don't.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And was anyone surprised that it was going to be the Arendelles that caused the fight at the beginning?
No.
like we saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Like the father said, I didn't see what happened. I got distracted. And when I turned around, everybody's fighting.
Right,
You
right,
knew
right.
right away it was the Arendelles that started that. That the forest folk didn't start that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's something I'm not sure if you realized. I didn't until I watched some YouTube explanation video. That if you remember in part 1, when she's building her ice palace and she steps into the middle of the floor and stamps her foot, that's when her clothes change and she's transformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing with this one is when she goes into that ice cave and there's the elements around her and she's the middle one and she stamps in the middle and does another song, I think, Show Yourself.
Yep.
Her clothes change again and she's transformed again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a repeat of that. I didn't quite put those two things together. I thought she changed clothes at some point, and it was
and she just took her braid out of her hair.
that's it, yeah. And her hair was free because her powers were free. And the breaking of the dam really didn't hurt anybody because you just needed Elsa there to like deflect it.
That was another thing. I mean, I'm not sure that was the wisest decision on Anna's part to just start all of a sudden breaking the dam without at least like taking a step back and saying, "Hey, let's think this through. Maybe there's another way." You know, like it was a snap judgment that Anna made that I was just like, whoa.
Keep in mind, this is the same girl that got engaged the same day she met Hans.
That is true.
does
She has
explain a
So
lot.
she
be
does have a
impulsive.
history of making snap judgments. So
And that's the person who we're going to have the Queen of Arendelle now.
Yeah, so
The
yes, so
queen,
she,
ladies and gentlemen.
she totally
Oh.
became queen. Which, if you go to the Epcot Summer House, she is already in her new costume with her crown. And if I didn't see the movie and I'm a kid, I'm going to be like, Anna,
Yeah.
what are you
Yeah.
doing with that crown on your head? You'll have
Yeah.
to see my movie, dear. I mean, I don't-
One of my Facebook friends, who I won't name, but I don't know, Panda, if you're friends with her too, but she is Anna at Disney World.
oh, it's probably our same friend.
Yep. And she posted pictures.
Yep.
Yep.
She also
they're gonna have
understands the
new
movie completely.
costumes at Disney World then?
What's that, Sam?
She's
What'd
a real
you say, Sam?
peach. She's a real peach.
Yeah.
So they're going to have the new costumes at Disney World for the meet and greets?
Oh,
They-
it's
they already
already
do,
done.
Oh, it's already going. Okay, I
Already
didn't
done.
know. Okay. The well, speaking of Disney World, when they were doing that flashback scene when they were playing with the little snow people, and Elsa's making all these little snow creatures, and Anna's playing with them, and then she gets a giraffe. You could tell that she's never been to Animal Kingdom and has never seen the Lion King live show because she had no idea what sound a giraffe makes. Which is, if you had been to Animal Kingdom, you would know. But, giraffe sounds like a lamb.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of like, was that a hidden Easter egg, or am I
I think
reaching at straws here?
Probably, maybe.
maybe. Are we allowed to mention Samantha, or we should leave that as a surprise?
Who?
I'm kidding. Samantha.
I don't even know a Samantha.
No. Okay, you got it. I
Neither
thought you
does
really
Olaf.
didn't remember.
Neither
I
does
thought that
Olaf
was
know
funny.
Samantha.
I thought that was funny too, and I was waiting for there to be a Samantha somewhere. I was thinking that.
Especially in the end credits or something. Yeah.
Yep.
I do
Maybe-
think Olaf did steal the show a lot of times.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Olaf is my favorite character.
Yeah.
He just is. He's just like, the way they make him so thoughtful yet so dense at the same time. It's pretty clever how they do it.
Oh, do you know what I found really funny? The troll, knowing there's trouble, seeing them going, "Oh, there's never a dull moment with you two." I thought that was really like, you ain't kidding. Never a dull moment with you
That
two.
was funny. That was funny.
Or the whole scene with the charades, with
Oh, yeah.
Olaf is just amazing at charades with Kristoff guessing, and Anna has no clue how to play this game.
Oh, there's
Or Elsa.
also,
Elsa has a,
isn't there a thing in the cave when she looks to the memories of the past? There's a point where they reference her singing Let It Go, and she's even annoyed
Shudders.
herself with that scene.
Yep.
yeah, she shuddered.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I like that. I like those little inside things. So yeah, I want to see it again, but this is like Disney, who is the strongest with story.
Yes.
I know kids did not completely
Yes.
get what was going on. I know I didn't. I still have questions like we all do. I'm surprised it wasn't an easier swallow of a story.
Yeah, I totally
Okay.
agree with you.
Now, I did want to talk about that. So this was a much more darker, a much more mature story than the original one by far. So the original movie, like we all kind of said, this movie isn't geared towards us. The original movie wasn't geared towards us either. It was geared towards 8, 9, 10-year-old females mostly who saw it in the theater, and they saw it, what was it,
Yeah, so maybe this is geared more towards the
$102 billion worth.
16-year-old. Yeah.
So now this movie, I'm thinking, is really geared towards those kids that have now grown up, are now young adults, teenagers, 16, 15, 18, in that age group. Did you find that this was the target audience in this?
That actually makes sense. I didn't think of it till you just said it, but it makes a lot of sense. But I think kids will still love it. They don't care if they don't understand it.
Well, yeah. So like you still have Olaf in there for like the younger
Right.
kids and us. That's
Right, and the kids know the lizard and the horse. They don't need to know the elements and what the mother did and what the father did. You know, it just seems a little convoluted more than I'd expect.
yeah.
So
no,
I'll
exactly.
tell you a quick story. So my son, he's 7. We went and saw it Saturday morning, and my parents, so his grandparents, take him to school every day during the week when we go to work. So this morning when my parents came over, first thing Connor says to them is, "Hey, let me tell you about Frozen. Let me tell you about the movie I saw." So knowing that I was going to record this tonight, I took a step back, and the things that he said, I'm like, that was definitely not the movie, Connor. I don't know what movie you were watching. Like,
please tell me what he said.
He's like, there was a water horse that saved everyone, and there was a little guy that spit fire at people, and like that's what he's talking about, you know. And he's like, and he talked about Gail. He's like, Gail is so funny because she's just wind, you know. Those are the things he was talking about.
All
He
right,
didn't say anything about, you know, the elements, or I don't know. It was just
So he had a takeaway, and that was
Yep.
it.
So Connor really enjoyed this movie, I'm guessing.
He enjoyed it.
Yeah. So
He
he's going to
did
go to this.
enjoy it. He
Yeah,
enjoyed
so
it.
he's going to go.
And I watched it actually with his whole school. This whole school rented out the theater, so we went early Saturday morning. So I was with, 200 of his friends and
Okay,
parents.
Dan, can you get the flavor of what everyone else felt? Like, did the kids seem to love it?
So here's what happened. I was the only one to stay for the end credit scene. Every single person got up and walked out afterwards. I don't know if they just didn't realize, but they all walked out, and by the time I stayed for the 3 or 4 songs during the credits and the end credit scene, they were all gone.
Okay, yeah.
So-
I think a lot of them don't know.
Yeah.
Kids see credits and think that's it, done,
Yep.
the end.
And it was pretty lengthy too. They should have probably done like a half credit scene, not like the whole thing, because
I did wait for a half credit scene, and there wasn't one. I went, okay, I'm leaving.
Yeah, so Stan has the attention span of most children, so it makes sense.
Well,
Okay, can we talk about that end scene?
Yes, please
Yeah.
do, because I'd
Okay.
like to hear what it was.
Dan, I'll mention what it was, the first part, and then you can talk about the end.
Okay.
The first part was when the movie starts and they have to like kind of rehash Frozen 1, Olaf does a little monologue about it, and I thought it was really funny because he's like, Elsa did this and Anna did this, and their parents are dead. And then he goes on and he's like one sentence things, and he's like, and then it was happily ever after and true love saved everyone, da-da. And then
So then the last credit is him doing the recap of Frozen 2, which we just watched. And he's saying, and this happened, and then this happened, and then I died, and Elsa died, but we're alive. And then it turns around, and he's talking to Marshmallow and all the little snowmen. And they're like, we live!
and water has memory, and I was correct, and that's all there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. They're big with that. They really push that water has memory thing.
Yeah.
That's okay. I kind of liked it. I mean, it gave me a reason to believe a lot of the things they were doing.
Okay, so did anyone think of, bringing this to Walt Disney World, which is all of our, obvious passion here? Did anyone think of the new water thing that they're building in Epcot?
Oh, the Moana?
For Moana, right? It has nothing to do with Frozen. But, I just thought it was, pushing water on us. I don't know.
Listen,
I'm
the whole
always trying to
water
make
memory thing could be a thing.
Yeah.
See, I didn't think that at all, but I did think that the scene where she's walking or going on that little ice canoe and all the giants were sleeping, I thought that'd be a great addition to the Frozen ride that's
Yeah.
at Epcot.
Oh,
Yeah, I
a
was
lot
That'd be
thinking
kind of
that
cool
too.
to go through that and see these giant rocks
yeah.
sleeping and snoring and breathing, and then you got the nostrils, you're heading straight for it, and then you kind of swerve around it.
Oh, if they could extend that ride, that'd be cool. I'm guessing the ride will remain the original movie
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
it
ride
won't be
does work,
changed.
but that would be a great little extension at the end.
You know what I was thinking? So when they do the trek, and when Olaf is doing all the talking, and they're basically telling Olaf to be quiet, I was thinking to myself, this should be a perfect time where they should just have a gondola, and they could take the gondola
Yes.
off the mountain. And I'm like, and then they could like,
And then Anna says, "See, they're safe."
exactly, and then that's all you have to do.
And they can get in one with the wrap, and they go, oh, I wanted one without the wrap so I could see better.
So that actually brings up another point, and I know I'm just nitpicking at this point. I get it, but it's just continuity is like important to me in movies, and I felt that the geography was a little mixed up. Okay, and I'll explain why. So they did this whole trek where Sven is taking him on the sleigh, and it seemed like that was a long time, right? Didn't it seem like that was a long time?
Yeah, yeah.
But then at other times, like at the end, when Elsa leaves Arendelle, she just like ice skates to the other side, Yeah, right? She's just there. And at one point they say, oh, it's just on the other side of the fjord, right? And if you're not Norwegian, you don't know what a fjord is. Go Google
They
it.
could have Ubered there in like 3 seconds.
Exactly. So I had a lot of questions on like how long things took, and then getting back to the length of time, it's you find out that the parents have to take the ship there, which I still don't quite understand why the ship sunk where it sunk, but I don't know. Maybe
Well, they weren't going to the mystical forest. They're going north of it
okay.
to the island where the TV sets are in the walls. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They weren't really going to the mystical forest. They were going further than that.
Okay.
And when Elsa crosses that ocean area, that bay or whatever it is, and she has to use her powers and her ice and ends up riding the horse, I thinking like Anna's mad that she couldn't go on this journey with Elsa. I was like, ripe, it's a good thing she wasn't there, because she wouldn't have stood a chance against those waves. Did you think that at all, or?
I don't know. I was a little confused. I don't know. I was confused a lot in the movie, and it's definitely because I overthink things. I get it, right? Like I think that, for the most part, like I said before earlier, it was a fun movie. It was a good movie. I like I said, continuity, and I overthink things, and I just had a lot of questions,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And then Panda put this post on Facebook, and when I saw it, I was like, exactly. I have the exact same question.
My post basically said, "Listen, I loved it,
Yep.
but I don't understand a lot, and I have questions. And whoever thinks they can explain it all, I can stump you, I bet." And I did get a lot of people wrote and private messaged me, and they tried to help. I didn't get the right stuff out of some people, but for the most part, it seemed I thought I understood it again, and then I lost it again.
Yeah. Well, the comeback that I kept getting was like, it's just a movie, just enjoy it. I get it. I know.
I did. Yeah, I did. I'm allowed to question the
obviously,
story.
there's
people.
not a real princess out there that could shoot icicles out of her fingers. I get it, but
I'll just explain the entire movie this way. It's a magical land, and magic happens. You have to take
You know
it for what it
of?
is.
I'm going to leave you with a thought. I picture Anna going into the room where the wizard is, and it's Willy Wonka, and she asks him, "How come I don't have any powers?" And he turns around and says, "You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You get nothing."
you bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized.
Yes.
You lose. Good day, sir. I said good day.
Good day, Anna. You get nothing. Your sister
Zip,
gets it all.
Nada.
Did you guys think Anna was going to get powers? Because
Yes.
I had the feeling she was.
I thought she was going to get powers.
That could be part 3. I'm hoping. Really, she
Yeah,
does need
right.
to, because she did a great thing by helping them. Now she saved them.
Yeah.
She should get something.
I
She did. She
almost
got to be queen.
What?
She got to be queen.
Yeah, but what's that? That's just a title.
She's gonna be a terrible queen, by the way. We know.
Oh,
that.
she's going to be nasty.
Extra chocolate.
So you're talking about the third one. Do you think we need a third one, or should they stop here?
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, yeah,
No need. It's coming. If they're
Yeah.
making $1 billion, oh, it's
Yeah, and here's the other part about it. Maybe Disney really is like so much smarter than I give them credit for. Maybe this whole thing to get us questioning thing will make it so I want to see a Frozen 3 to get a little bit more answers on some things.
very
point.
possible.
I would like to see somehow someone explain to me why that people of Arendelle have some kind of powers too. You know, why does it have to take the North Uldra to mate with the Arendellians to form a fifth spirit? You know,
Well, because they're the magical people.
well, the
Whereas
North
the
Uldras are, but not the Arendellians.
Yeah, I guess not, eh? They don't really. Yeah, because they just play with the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but that doesn't make no. Okay, now you got me asking questions. I have to wait till I'm older now.
I really, at some point, was expecting with the North Uldras, Pocahontas to come out from one of the trees. And, you think you own whatever land you land on.
At that point, just mess with my head even more. You know. You have Pascal in there. You know, you have Pocahontas. I mean,
The girl from Tangled and Brave going by with her horse.
something about Fantasia in there. I don't know.
Well, apparently, it's all about Fantasia, according to
Yeah.
Panda's friend.
I'm just kidding. They just they can't, instead of saying they don't know, they come up with something.
If you remember back in Tangled, when they
Yeah.
went through the forest, and Flynn Rider.
I'm sure there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie that I missed too. So I am looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's stuff there.
Yeah.
So I do have to go again. And I do endorse it. I think it is a rich world they built, whether it makes sense to me or not.
Yeah.
And the fact that I do want to know more is a testament to their good filmmaking that, you know, why am I even caring? There are a lot of movies I walk, I'm like, I couldn't care less.
Yeah. You hit the
But
nail
I
on the
do
head.
kind of care.
Yeah, I totally agree with that statement. I mean, it's a good movie makes you think, right? And I've been thinking about this movie for
Completely.
3 days.
And I have to believe that the people that made it do have a specific, clear answer to all of this.
Yeah. When I first left the theater, I thought to myself, wow, someone came with a script and everyone's like, oh, that'd be epic. But then they had to make the movie and it didn't turn out to be epic. But then
Well,
but
a lot
as
of
time has gone on, I'm thinking, okay, maybe
It's got to be me.
yeah, right.
a lot of this movie kind of had the Two Towers vibe, the Lord of the Rings movie, to me,
Little bit.
like
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
walking. With
What
the
the
walking.
heck are you talking about, Stan?
Well, like the
like
walking.
like the quest type thing, like, you know.
Yeah, the quest, and then
Yeah.
they destroy the dam by throwing rocks at it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of had between that. It was like a Broadway version of the Lord of the Rings on this big screen. Is what it felt like to me.
Elsa and the Eye of Sauron.
Did you find it had a Broadway feel to it?
Very much,
Oh
yes.
yeah. I mean, it was
Yeah.
so much more Broadway than the first one, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah. So I think we'll be seeing it on Broadway before long.
I agree.
Is what I'm thinking. If not on Broadway, then maybe Disneyland in that theater. They'll do
Oh.
away with the original showing of Frozen in the Disneyland that theater. Which is a gorgeous. If you ever go to Disneyland, go see that production of Frozen. Did you get the chance to see it when you were there, John?
No. We
No?
need that theater in the Magic Kingdom still. I know
Yeah.
it's on hold, but they need to do that.
Yeah.
Stan, did you see Frozen on the Wonder when you did your Alaska trip?
I don't think I saw it.
Okay,
there.
that's what's on the Wonder now. So when I go in the summer, that's what I'll be seeing.
Okay. Well, they'll probably be showing. Well, whatever the new movie is, they'll be showing.
No, I'm talking about the the play.
Oh, the live. Oh, then
Yeah,
I
the
did.
live.
Yeah, then I went to every one of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Dan?
You know, like I said, I don't want to make it sound here that I'm being very critical of it because I did like the movie. So a lot of questions, and after sitting here talking to you guys for the last half hour, 40 minutes, maybe it's just a little bit me. Maybe I do have to go watch it again. I said in the beginning that I would probably wait, but I may go see it again just to see if there's other stuff I missed. And then you know what? Maybe I even have even more questions after that, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And how many snowballs out of 10 for you?
Out of 10, that's what we do here.
Yeah, I like 10.
I'll give it an 8. I liked it. Maybe a 7.
Okay.
Not a 10 because I just have questions.
Mm-hmm. And John, any final thoughts, or how many snowballs?
I'm going to give it 7 snowballs with the possibility of 8 after I see it again. Because if I do answer some of my questions, I'm going to be like, oh, and I will, give it more. I do like it. I think everyone should see it. I think it's done by talented people who did not go for a cash grab. They really tried to create something new and answer the questions and broaden the story. It just felt convoluted.
Just to add on that, let's just talk real quick. The voice acting I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
I really thought they did such a good job.
There's never a time where you are not
No.
in the world they created.
Yep.
And they sell it to you with their acting. Yeah.
Yeah, really good job.
Yeah, no, for sure. If you're gonna when it comes out on Disney Plus, what are you more likely to watch? Frozen 1 or Frozen 2?
2 for me.
Dan?
I'm gonna have to watch Frozen 2 again just before I make that decision on, what's gonna be my favorite.
Which one?
Yeah. I'm not ashamed to admit I really like the original Frozen. It was one of my favorite Disney movies, so it's gonna be hard to beat that just in general. But
Okay. See, I definitely prefer Frozen 2 over the original
Really?
Frozen. Yeah, I found it was a more darker movie, more adult movie, more grown up, which was kind of like, I appreciated that attempt, or what they did with that. I agree, 7 snowballs out of 10. I can't see giving it more than that. What was my third question? Oh, final thoughts. The scene where they're going on the canoe. I really wanted that canoe to spin around and went down that waterfall backwards.
that would have been great.
I'm like, spin around. I almost was yelling it out loud in the theater, except I didn't. But I was tempted to. It's like, spin around before you get to the, because you knew a waterfall was coming.
Yeah.
You could, as soon as they got into that boat and they got on the river. Oh, there's gonna be a waterfall pretty soon. I hope they go down it backwards. Was my first thought.
Yeah. Norway, right? You just hear that a voice say that.
So, John, they can find you at bigfatpanda.com for
That
all your
goes right to the YouTube channel. Yes, thank you.
Yes, all your amazing videos and all your content. And you have Pandemonium on Facebook.
Yes. If you search
So-
the group Panda, Panda, Monium, you will find us. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's a very fun group, and it's a lot of interesting stuff on there all the time. Most of it's by you, but it's really interesting. You're right 2 miles from Disney World, so you got all the, the invites and all the previews for everyone to see, which is amazing.
Awesome. Can't wait for Rise of the Resistance next week.
Next week.
Rise of the Resistance. Oh, yes,
Well,
yes.
December
Oh.
4th.
Yeah.
It's like, what day is it?
No, not next week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's close enough though. It is coming out of nowhere, to be
I'm
honest.
rushing
Well,
it. Yeah.
By the time this podcast comes out, it will be the next week.
Panda, what's your
I've spoken to
plans?
People that have written it, and they don't sell me anything except not disappointing.
Okay, great. What's your plans? You gonna be there opening day,
I'm sorry. I'll be there the 4th and the 5th. Yeah.
4th and the 5th? Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Nice. I'll be there next year.
awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to see the review because I'm very excited for it.
I can't wait. I'll let you know what I think. Hopefully you come down, Stan, we ride it.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait for that.
Well, Dan, John, thank you for joining us. John, you're now a co-host. You're not a guest anymore. You've been on
Again, next movie. What's the next movie? Jungle Book?
Star Wars.
Oh, that's okay. I'll be back if you want me back.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're in that one.
That'll be an hour of just Stan talking and us just being quiet, though. Probably.
If you listen to the Mandalorian reviews, that's kind of what it's like. It's a half hour of Stan talking, and everyone else is saying, "Yeah, that's pretty. You're good point."
I go, is that the same movie? Oh yeah, I guess so. And then,
So
and that was the first 10 minutes reviewed for an hour.
yeah, come back next week. We'll get the next 10 minutes of the Rise of Skywalker review. And with that, Ken, take it away.
If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to like our Facebook friends page, Grand Circle Tour Magical Ticket Holders. While on Facebook, like our group page, Grand Circle Tour. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tour Podcast, as well as Instagram, GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour. If you would like to send us a message, you can email us at gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merchandise can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your adventure, leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Only one rule, make it good. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.